to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
We have a dual miracle or two miracles in the gospel today. They are dual miracles, they are twin miracles. It's not just one miracle. First, there is the multiplication of the loaves and the fish. That is the first miracle. The second is the feeding of the 5,000. That is the second miracle. I do not know if at one time or another in our Mass here at the shrine, I do not know if I already mentioned in one of my homilies, cannot remember, that there are basically three types of miracles. What are the three types of miracles? Number one, those that we call natural miracles. What are examples of natural miracles? The raising of the dead, Jesus calming the storm, Jesus walking on the water. These are natural miracles. There are also, the second type, there are also healing miracles, and there are many of them. The blind can see, the paralytic can walk, the deaf can hear, the mute can speak, those who are possessed by evil spirits, the evil spirits are exorcised, and many other similar stories. This is the second type of miracles. The third type of miracles are those that we call feeding miracles. And our gospel reading for today falls under the third category. Jesus feeds 5,000 men. The women and the children are not yet counted. But if you will put all of them together easily, probably there were probably between 15,000 to 20,000 people. Can you imagine feeding 15, 20,000 people? That is a lot of mouths to feed. The gospel reading for today, my dear brothers and sisters, uses a lot of symbolic language. Unfortunately, we cannot decipher, we cannot study all of them. I can only mention some, or probably two, symbolic. The Lord said to the disciples, "Let the people sit down on the grass." You know what it means? Let the people sit, because there were no monoblock chairs at that time. Let the people sit down on the grass. Can you guess what season of the year it was? Is that winter? No. Is that fall? No. Is that summer? There is no grass in summertime. It must be springtime. Springtime. And you know, if you go to the States, you go to Canada, you go to Europe, for me, the most beautiful season is springtime. You see the flowers blossoming again. You see the plants, the green, the leaves, everything is coming out again. Springtime. Spring means life. Spring means hope. Spring means newness. That is the first symbolism that I'd like to underline today. When the Lord said, "Let the people sit down on the grass," springtime. In God there is newness. In God there is life. In God there is brightness. In God there is no darkness. The second symbol that I'd like to mention in the gospel today, Jesus takes the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. He looked up to heaven. He said a blessing. He broke the bread. He gave the bread to the disciples. What do you notice here? This is Eucharistic language. This is the language of the Mass. This is Eucharistic vocabulary. This is what we do. This is what the priest recites when the priest presides over the celebration of the Eucharist. My dear brothers and sisters, there are many others. But of all the miracles of the Lord, the multiplication of the loaves and fish and the feeding of the 5,000 is one of the loveliest. And this miracle or miracles are also mentioned in the 4 Gospels. The version that we read today is that of Saint Mark. Of all the miracles of the Lord, this is the only one that is repeated, that is narrated in all the 4 Gospels. A great multitude had gathered to listen to Jesus. Liturgy of the Word. Liturgy of the Word. A great multitude had gathered to listen to Jesus. Liturgy of the Word. And Jesus, no doubt, realized the people were hungry for the word of life. Liturgy of the Word. And then the disciples wanted to send them away at the end of the day because they did not have the resources to feed them. And the disciples even complained how much money it would take to feed such a big crowd, at least wages equivalent for 6 months. Jesus took the boy with the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. He gave thanks to the Father. He distributed to all until everybody was satisfied. Liturgy of the Eucharist. Beautiful gospel. My dear friends, after the super typhoon Odette, you can imagine the many acts of generosity of many people, thousands of people in the Philippines, the SVDs included, especially in the Philippine South. Multiplying acts of generosity, multiplying acts of mercy and compassion. And this is what the Lord also wants to challenge us with. You know, why did I say this? That the Lord wants to challenge us with this? He said, what did he say? Let me go back to the gospel. Give them some food yourselves. He did not take the suggestion of the disciples to let the people go home and find their own provisions. The Lord said, let them sit down. Give them some food yourselves. Many of our countrymen are helping a lot of hungry people in the Visayas and Mindanao because of the super typhoon Odette. Many of them are helping anonymously, and they are helping generously. We thank these people. This is God making himself felt in many countless different ways. Through the generosity of other people, we feel and experience the generosity of God.